The NPR beginning. Hi, I'm Eric. This is Ward. We'll be answering your questions today on jock itch and foot fungus. Welcome to Fridays on the Fly. I'm Eric.
And I'm Ward. Welcome to episode 6. We are creative people with creative projects. Follow our adventures with personal and community projects, including short films, writing, props, and radio drama performances, with movie reviews and plenty of tangents. First things first, I thought about Mad Max-ifying my car. And of course my concern is I want my car to remain usable afterwards. I want to be able to take everything off, which creates a conflict because you really can't Mad Max-ify and be able to take it all
Did
off.
we talk about this last week?
We might have talked about it after the episode.
Oh, okay, all right. I think this is something that we talked about after we ended last week. It was Ward changing his car into something from Mad Max, his 1991 Chevy Blazer. The Blazer, not the truck.
The Blazer, yeah, S10 Blazer.
Okay.
It creates some conflict because really there's no way to be able to unbolt stuff.
Wait, why would you want to take it off, though? What would be the purpose of taking it off if you've already put it on?
If I change my mind. I mean, I've changed my mind on what I wanted to do with this thing a few times. I just don't want to go so far down the path I can't take it back. You know, in essence, you're destroying the car in a way.
Well, I mean, if you're just bolting stuff on and you unbolt it, it just leaves holes. Who cares?
I do, in case I want to change my mind.
Well, maybe then you'll want a car with holes in it. You could dimple dye it. Was that what that's called?
Yeah, dimple dye.
Yeah, you could dimple dye. That's just the whole thing. You could take the weight off of it and just...
Yeah, I looked at it because I've got steel wheels. I could get some knobby tires,
right,
grills on the things, exhaust, but it poses some issues.
I think it poses some serious issues. Yeah. If I really want to go all the way with this and make it look Mad Max-ish, I have to start with tires because they've got to be big tires. I mean, I haven't seen the whole movie. I've only seen the previews, but it's going to be 3/4 of your budget just on tires.
Well, I wouldn't do the Fury Road Mad Max tires. I would go the original to where those cars were a little more sane and reasonable.
Okay, so we're thinking Mad Max 2 here?
Yeah, Mad Max 1, Mad Max 2.
Mad Max 1, I don't think there was too much in Mad Max. I think those were just regular tires.
Exactly, I could handle that.
Yeah, but you know, they weren't as heavy. The vehicles weren't as heavily modified in those Mad Maxes than they are in this one. This one, they almost look cartoonish to me as compared to the first one. The first one, you could tell it was just, all right, what do we have to bolt on this car to make it look cooler? That's too much, take that off.
Yeah, and if I did it, that's what I would do. Something very simple.
Yeah.
You know, I'd want to paint the panels, make them look rusty and dirty.
I was going to say, that's the first thing you did. You've already painted it. It's blue. So that first thing that has to happen is that has to come off. So now you're headed toward my side where it's going to have like patina on it.
See, I'm not even sure I'd take it off or just go over it and, you know, start making it look like it's peeling off.
Muriatic acid. And it'll start taking the paint off and it'll actually start rusting.
See, I don't want real rust because then that's going to create an issue down the road.
Well, how long do you really think that you're going to have this for? The 1991 Blazer.
Forever. I'm in
Forever.
I'm in it for the long haul.
Do the muriatic acid and then, cans of clear coat on top of it.
Clear coat on bare steel, it'll still rust.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've seen trucks for one that was painted black. They did the flames, they ground it down to bare metal, and it cleared over it. He still had rust after a couple of years. I don't know, I guess it's just the primer that adheres to it, but
yeah, maybe.
It just didn't work. But I would just take paint and airbrush the panels and airbrush it to look like rust and look like it's just peeling off.
It just never looks right to me.
It's tough to pull it off.
Oh, it's really hard to pull off. I mean, the guys that do that, they are artists.
Oh, yeah.
That pull that off. What's the reality of this project? Of you actually Mad Maxing your Blazer?
I wanted the stuff to come off in case I change my mind. So I feel like you can't really do it justice.
No, I don't know how you add things to a body of a car and then be able to take it off.
Cut a hole in the hood,
right.
Do a scoop. I can fix that. I've got other hoods. A bumper, I can tweak the bumper. A brush guard, I can pull off. Because this is a post-apocalypse. Over these big windows, I technically shouldn't have glass, but that's just a pain. Some kind of guard or grill over it. Again, that has to bolt into the body to stay. If we're going full post-apocalypse, it needs to be dented up and beaten up.
If you need help with that, you let me know.
I'm thinking that's why this won't happen, because I've learned that it really is a full commitment and not one I'm willing to make. That dream may be over. So this is one thing that I've had in my mind forever. I wanted to do a video series, and now it's probably a radio drama series. Again, as we've said before, radio drama is easier than making a video. It's kind of a comedic quantum leap. And I want to take a guy that has narcolepsy, and he wakes up, the beginning of every episode is him waking up in this weird situation, trying to figure out where he is or what he's doing there, and maybe helping people along the way.
For one, I just want to say this is really strange. I was going through Netflix, put Quantum Leap in my list like 2 days ago. That's so weird that you mentioned it. I loved that show when I was a kid. I
me too.
loved it. I'm going to watch the whole thing, the whole series again. But it's so funny that you said that. But narcoleptic Quantum Leap.
Yeah, I can just be really funny, really silly, really campy. So I may start writing some scripts and put that in the radio drama.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing with this guy in the video, he doesn't know where he is and he's trying to figure it out. But on radio, the viewer's not going to know where he is.
Right.
So you can kind of use that to your advantage to where the viewer's trying to figure out, okay, I hear this, where does this sound indicative of?
Right.
So it can be fun. But I've had that idea forever, and I finally realized, hey, this will never be a video series because I'm never going to make a video series.
Why narcoleptic?
I've always thought about having this video sequence of, and it's kind of cliche in a way, person opens their eyes and it's kind of blurry and it comes into focus and they're looking around this room. And where is this? And I've just always liked that picture in my head. What if I did that every episode? That was kind of the crux of the show. Because I always think about different shows and different things I can do, and most of the time I just never do them. I mean, I've had this idea for at least a year or two. For the benefit of the series, you know, at the end, once he solved all the problems, then I'll fall asleep.
Gosh, what is the guy's name that played Sam?
Scott Bakula.
Scott Bakula. At the end and beginning of every episode, I think. Right when he was transported, he'd go, oh boy.
So this would be very similar. He'd wake up in this new body, right?
He would essentially get transported into someone's body as they were doing something. As they were in the physical act of whatever they were doing, usually something bad. He would be confronted by someone else and he would have no idea what was going on because he just got transported into this body. So let's update on projects.
You have any updates this week?
I have no updates. I mean, we've talked about you saw my kayak thing. That was it. That's the only project I've got going on right now.
It's a solid project.
The rest is just planning for vacation.
That's a big undertaking.
It is.
Unfortunately, just not very exciting, I guess, for the podcast.
No, not right now. I made hotel reservations. Here's where it is. Here's the confirmation number, just in case you people would like to know.
On my sidewalk, I said last week, is in essence done. Now it's officially done. Post on my blog.
I saw the blog.
So
it looks amazing.
Thank you.
Then you find excuses just to walk out there. You're bringing yourself problems because I know exactly what's going to happen here. You've made the sidewalk. You've made that little curve in it. And I know what you're thinking. There's either a tree there, you're going to put a tree there. But I guarantee you, now that sidewalk's done, you're going to be gardening more. So really, you just brought trouble onto yourself.
I will not be gardening more.
Oh, I beg to differ.
That is Jennifer's project.
You are going to be brought into that project, my friend.
Maybe to dig some holes, that's about the extent.
That's where it starts.
I've dug plenty of holes already and I haven't gardened yet, so.
Yes, but now you have a reason because it looks really good. To garden in between the sidewalk and the house, it's a must.
Yeah, but see, if you make the garden look too good, the sidewalk won't look as good. It's like good by comparison.
She's going to want lighting, but how could she see it in the dark? You've opened up a whole can of worms. If you would have just not done this, she would have just gone, yep, he can't do anything. He's useless. But instead, here we are. It was Seinfeld that said, maybe they shouldn't have put a man on the moon because everybody goes, they can put a man on the moon, but they can't, He said, maybe they shouldn't have put that guy on the moon.
If she's going outside at night, I'm just going to say, hey, it's dark outside. You just stay inside. We need to be safe.
Nope, lighting's next, gardening's next. Your weekends are shot, my friend.
As if they weren't already shot. My picnic table, I put it together last week.
Yeah.
I routed it, sanded it, smoothed it out. I started with 80 grit sandpaper, went to like 320. It's very smooth. Stained it. Just about done. I need to update some of the stains. And of course, I started staining it late at night. It was dark. I couldn't really see what I was doing. It's small, just rounding off the edges, but it definitely makes a big difference.
Yeah, definitely. Well, they probably didn't stain it either. I mean, they probably just, set it out there.
Let the weather have at it.
Right. You going to put that up on the blog when it's done? Pictures and everything?
Picnic table will be on the blog when I finish it. I did make my terrariums this week. I made 3 of them.
What did you make them out of?
Did the mason jar.
See, you're already gardening. You've already started the garden. Now it's going outside. Go ahead. You did a mason jar.
Did the mason jar. I took gravel from my driveway. Took some potting soil we had. I read somewhere somebody said you should put activated charcoal in there. I did this only because, for some reason, I already had some. So I figured, why not? It can't hurt.
You just had some activated charcoal sitting around?
Jennifer had some for some reason. She had it, I used it. If she didn't have it, I wouldn't have used it. Then I dug up but I'm not a botanist. I dug up what may have been clover and what may have been moss. I can neither confirm nor deny because I don't really know.
Tune in next week and find out it's poison ivy.
I know what that looks like. Definitely not poison ivy. I touched that enough to know stay far, far away.
So you did one in mason jar. What else did you do the other ones out of?
All three mason jars.
Oh, all 3 mason jars.
Yeah.
Okay.
All three had some moss-like substance, some
Right.
clover-like substance. Which a mason jar is small, so really that's all you could fit in there.
Yeah.
I did water it. Put some water in there. I didn't know how much. I just
Right.
guesstimated, put the top on. I wanted to sit on my desk, but there's no sunlight at my desk.
I was going to say, you need sunlight for this.
Yeah,
to
I realized that
complete the
after I finished
terrarium.
it. So I don't know, because a lot of times we have our blinds shut, curtains drawn. So that may be the major flaw in the terrarium plan. But hey, they've been living for a couple of days, and they look good.
Have they grown? I mean,
I haven't put them in the sunlight yet.
wow. So they'll be dead soon.
I'm gonna
Is
put 'em
any
in the sunlight.
condensation building up on the jar?
I don't know, I haven't really looked.
So they could be dead already.
They're not dead, they definitely are still green. And yeah, I did one for me, my wife, and my son.
Right.
And so he had a little zombie toy, I put that in mine. He picked out some dinosaurs, put in his, so
Right.
it's kind of fun. And my last and biggest project this weekend, I put 12 hours, I built a playhouse for my son. It came in a box, and you take it out, and it's amazing how much they fit in that box. It's a 200-pound box. And some big, huge playhouse was built out of it. Slide and swings and canopies.
Where did you get it at?
Walmart.
Walmart. Okay. I've probably had the same swing set.
So, and yeah, it's Walmart, which isn't the greatest thing in the world.
Right.
It's definitely nice, and
But it'll last. It'll take you to where you need to go, especially you only have one kid. I mean, if you're 3 and it took them years to rip it apart.
well, our big talking point for tonight is a project I completed a few weeks ago. I finally put it up on my blog. I made a bug out bag.
I see the bag.
Yeah, I brought it here for the podcast.
It concerns me. You have the bag. What's the main purpose of having the bag? Now wait, let me just before you start off. The best way I can describe this bag is it looks like it's a military surplus from the 80s. Is that correct?
I don't know the time period, but it is military surplus.
It's definitely military surplus, maybe from the 80s, maybe early 90s. It's OD green, about the size of a backpack, 2 very large pockets on the front that look like they fit some old style canteen from World War II. It's big. There's a lot of stuff in there. So right off the top, I just want to say I saw the Cliff Bars and I'm kind of hungry. So I wish there was some type of water in there.
Well, let's start off with a little bit of an introduction. A bug out bag is a military term. I can't remember, I think it might be World War II, where you had some guys overseas where they may have to clear camp really quickly.
Right.
And they needed a bag to grab, had their stuff, because you couldn't take everything. It's also, this can be called a get out of Dodge bag, a good bag, has a few different names. And it differs from a survival bag. I don't have this bag to survive in the wild in case my house burns down. Mainly for me, this bag, I travel 45 minutes one way to work every day. There have been a few times where I've been concerned I might get snowed in and not be able to get home. So this
Right.
bag is to give me some supplies in case I get snowed in. You know, I've broken down before on trips, a couple hours away from home. And it would have been I had nothing. It would have been nice to have a bag with some water and some food. Just a few basic supplies. In essence, a bug out bag is made to give you 72 hours worth of supplies so that you can, you know, if the zombie apocalypse comes, you can go to that bunker you've built, you know, out in the country, make it there where you should have more supplies. It's not meant to survive. If it's meant for survival, it'd be much bigger and have a lot more stuff in it.
Where's your bunker?
Can't tell you that.
If you give me directions to that would be great. I'll meet you there. I'll bring weapons. We'll be good.
I wish I had a bunker.
And snickerdoodles.
Did a lot of research to figure out what should go in this, and so many things delve into.
I know that a lot of people put these up on YouTube because I've looked.
So many of them though get into survival stuff, and that's not what I'm after. If this bag had a couple bottles of water, change of clothes, and some Cliff Bars, that'd really be all I need. I put
Right.
other stuff in there just in case things get really hairy. None of this stuff really that I go out and buy. I had all this stuff. I just put it in one bag. I mean, I think it's better to be prepared. I talked about having a bug out bag forever, and I didn't know what to put in it. You want me to start pulling this stuff
Yeah,
out?
let's get to the bag because I'm really curious what's in the bag because I can fit a lot of stuff in that bag.
So this bug out bag, I started with an Alice pack bag. I took the frame from my Ghostbuster Proton pack, had this bag left over. Again, I was not trying to buy anything for this. I wanted to keep it reasonably priced. So this kit contains the essential supplies like food, water, clothing, first aid, shelter, hygiene, tools, etc. And it's built for one person. It's not built for my entire family. It's just for me. And I usually keep it in my car because if I'm going to get stranded somewhere, chances are my car will be with me.
And it'll be your car, not Jennifer's car, that you get stranded in.
More than likely.
Let's just see what we've got here.
Of course, we have the Cliff Bars.
Chocolate chip, naturally.
That's the only food item. I mean, again, some people are saying, oh, you should get dehydrated meals. I don't know why you would do that. I just need enough food to help me live for a few days. I've got water bottles. From all I can tell, they recommend 1 water bottle a day. If this is going to be a survival kit, it should be a gallon of water a day. But
Yeah, I was going to say
that's not what I'm after.
I drink that in like half a day right there. Those 3 bottles. That's half a day's
You
water.
gotta pace yourself. Empty water bottle.
Well, you could always do like Aaron Ralston and just refill those water bottles.
I could. Love that. Toilet paper, crucial.
Yep, I agree.
Got a bunch of clothing items. I got hat, long pants, long shirt, jacket. Got a big tarp. One cool thing, I actually went out and bought this. It's a life straw. And what this is...
Oh, yeah. I've heard of these, yeah.
Any water, it's supposed to filter it. And of course, they recommend getting as clean as water as you can get. That's pretty cool, even if I'm never going to use it since I have 3 water bottles.
What worries me about the life straw thing is it's a straw. You're sucking in the water when really they make these other ones that are like presses where you would scoop up water in a container and then press this filter through it and then it would filter the water. But this one, you can't see it first. With the press, when you're pressing it, you could see the water, get a little better view of it, and then decide to drink it. With this, you're just drinking it straight from...
But it filters it.
I know. I've seen it actually used before.
So I've also got work gloves, sunglasses, a beanie, and a battery-powered radio. Because when a zombie apocalypse happens, I want to be able to hear about it. Also, some underpants, because, hey, you never know when you need those.
Well, you get 4 days out of your current underwear, so you take those off, you turn them inside out, flip them around. You got 4 days from one pair.
I've got dust masks. So if it goes interstellar-like, where there's big dust storms, got that covered.
Or some type of airborne disease.
That's
I don't think that'll actually do it.
Airborne disease. If you're relying on that, chances are you're dead. Emergency blanket, tinfoil ones.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Some hygiene products. I've got bug spray, hand sanitizer, and Aquaphor. Which Aquaphor basically serves a role as Vaseline and chapstick. Pretty much a catch-all. I've got a whistle that doubles as a compass.
How's the compass work? Let me see. Well, I mean, I know how a compass works, but usually these ones that they put on the top of these things are awful. And this one is no different. Well, that's good. It seemed to do okay. Do you know how to use a compass?
Yeah, you go to...
No, don't just say...
Right there.
I like the whistle, though. I've got one of those. Just not that large.
And yeah, the whistle is nice because if you're in a situation where, I don't know, you're like that guy that fell in the trench, and he's stuck for 127 of that movie.
That's what I'm talking about. Aaron Ralston drank his own pee. That's how he refilled the bottle.
Perfect.
Yeah.
A whistle is much louder than you yelling, and it takes a lot less effort. If you yell for a few days, you're going to go hoarse. My car flips upside down. I'm in a ravine. Hey, I got my whistle. I just got to reach around to the back and get it. So I've also got a notepad and some pens and pencils. I did not go for the waterproof paper because I figure if I'm submerged in water, I doubt waterproof paper is what I need.
You're not going to be writing notes. Yeah.
I'm outside in the rain, but I figure, hey, this is more vehicle related. That's why if my car flips down and the windows are out, I've got a tarp.
You're good.
I've got a little mirror, a little reflecting mirror, and
signaling mirror, right?
Yeah, earplugs, small first aid kit that has some Band-Aids.
Yeah.
I really would like to get a better first aid kit. Really, this is just Band-Aids. It'd be nice to have a few other items.
Like what?
Whatever comes in a first aid kit. Of course, it'd be bigger and take up more space, and I don't know if it'd fit my bag. But it'd be nice to have just a few more supplies, because actually, doing the research for this, the state of Texas requires every motor vehicle to have a first aid kit in it.
I wonder if people in Texas know that.
I say most of them don't, but it's still a nice idea because you think about it. If you're in an accident, it'd be nice to have a few supplies. I mean, I'd say for most accidents, it probably wouldn't make a difference. Go Texas for trying to keep this thing. All right, so the last is my tool compartment.
Duct tape.
Duct tape. Got a couple different lights, flashlights, lighter, a chainsaw blade in case I need to cut down a big limb.
Have you ever tried the chainsaw blade? I've seen those before.
Have I used it? As you can tell, it's still in the bag, so no, I have not. But it seems like a good idea. I mean, I thought about getting a hatchet or a knife.
Yeah.
If it does work, it's going to work better than anything else. It'd be less effort.
Folding saw. They're big. They're like that, and they fold out. That would probably work better than that.
I would think it'd be about the same.
Oh, I don't think so.
We'll have to Mythbuster that. Parachute cord, another flashlight, trash bags, candles, flint lighter. There might be magnesium, microfiber cloth. And then just a multi-tool that
I have the exact same one. Schrade.
Yeah.
That thing is definitely handy.
So that's what I've got. So a few things my bag doesn't have, and this is mainly because it's not a survival bag. People say, oh, you need a sewing kit. You need snares to trap animals. You need fishing supplies, fishing kits, a hatchet, a machete, and all these different things. And again, this isn't a survival bag. If I had water and food and a change of clothes, that would probably serve all my needs. But I decided I had this stuff lying around. I might as well just throw it in the bag.
No, and it's a good idea, and I have the same kind of thing in my car. I mean, I do two things. I do something like what you have here, maybe, I mean, not as detailed as this, but have first aid in it, and I've got not so much survival or bug out, but more like everyday use.
Yeah, just to clarify, I mean, this is what you would consider your everyday carry bag. Is that correct?
Well, no, I have two different ones. The everyday carry bag. I'll start on the everyday carry bag. I carry a bag.
Can I stop you?
Yeah.
I'd like to hear the critique of this bag, and then we jump into your bag, if that's okay.
Okay.
Before we do that, I want to interrupt you a third time in a row. The only things I don't have that I thought would be cool, but I don't have a survival knife. And I looked at a machete or a hatchet. I think the hatchet would be easier and takes up less space.
And I think more useful.
I think so too. But that was more survival. And I just didn't really see a need to have a knife or a hatchet, even though they would be cool and fun things.
Well, I got to tell you, how accessible is this bag to you if you are in your seat of your car and it flips over, buckled in?
If it flips over, it'd be a little bit easier because it'd fall right above my head.
It sits in the back seat. The question is this: can you reach the bag if you're buckled in your seat and you can't become unbuckled? This is a scenario that happens the most, and they actually make a tool specifically for this.
My wife has that tool in her car.
To cut your seatbelt and to also punch out the window. Mm-hmm. That is would be the only thing I would think that you would want to have with you, but you'd have to be able to reach the bag.
Well, I'd say that tool would be more useful as somehow secured to like the door pocket or something to where if I had the tool, it would be in the bag, which would not make it accessible. I'll probably just stop wearing the seatbelt. That would probably be easier.
Problem solved. Breakaway seatbelt. It's just Velcroed up, baby. It's fine.
That's a great point.
Because you know what? If you can't get out of the seatbelt, bag's not going to help you at all.
But I would say that I'll preface this with, this is in case I get stranded in snow. But that is a very valid point.
Those are the things that happen in accidents, though. Seatbelts become locked. Just be an accident where maybe no one else is around to help you. Maybe falling asleep or something and you've fallen into an embankment or something. So getting out of the seatbelt, step one. I'm always trying to think of what are your steps. Step one is getting out of the seatbelt. Step two, getting out of the car. Step three is probably helping yourself if you're injured, which you have that covered with some Band-Aids. with some Band-Aids and some Aquaphor.
Perfect.
No, but what I carry something every day that I carry on my person pretty much everywhere that I can legally carry it. And legally because I keep a gun in there. In my bag, I keep a 9mm or a 45 in my bag. Usually it's a Springfield XD9 or Springfield XD45. Also in the bag, I keep a flashlight, a little tactical flashlight. It's exactly the same shape and size of a pen. And it shoots one of those really long beams, I keep an old wallet that I have Band-Aids in. I also have an old credit card with Gorilla Tape that I've taken and wrapped around it, and it's a slit in there. That has come in handy so many times. I think the tape and the Band-Aids I use the most. I don't have the bag on me, or else I just go through it right now, but this is one of the few instances that I don't actually have it on me.
I always have the bag on me, except for
right now. I carry in church. Whenever we come in here to record, I never bring it in. I keep a little, the Schrade. It's very small. When you open it up, it has a little tiny pair of pliers on it. It also has a little pair of scissors in it, a little knife, little file, things like that.
Like a Swiss Army knife?
I got it at REI. Basically, essentially a little multi-tool. And on the multi-tool, I also have a can opener. I also carry 3 different color Sharpies. That sounds weird, but sometimes I feel the need to write on my hand. Actually, it's just for pictures and have my hand in the picture pointing to whatever I'm looking at so I remember later, or it adds a little human element to the picture.
So it's kind of like a memento thing to where you might need to write notes all over your body
pretty much later. Pretty much. This is all stuff over the years, I had 3 kids, and I've always carried a diaper bag. And once they get older, obviously I have no need for the diaper bag, but I did have a need for these other things, like the tape, the Band-Aids, and I carry like a little thing of Neosporin, and I carry a thing of Blistex inside there. I carry a little set of tweezers. I carry Tylenol in there. But it's a very small bag. I end up carrying a lot. And I keep my wallet in there, and...
Is this bag, does it have separate compartments, or is it just
one
big
one? No, it's separate compartments. Okay. I mean, on the front of it. So yeah, it's got a bunch of different compartments, and then it's got the main compartment, and I'm sure when they were making this, they were not thinking that it could hold a full-size 9mm well, but it holds it's like a holster inside of there. It fits it perfectly. I was amazed. And then it has a whole big back pocket. But it's really comfortable, but it's made by this company called Pack Safe. And I own 3 of their bags. They are amazing. When you zipper them shut, you can clip the zipper. It can't come unzipped unless someone physically unclips the zipper and unzips it. No one's going to take something from you without you knowing unless they take the whole bag. And then it has the wire that runs through the bag, so the bag can't actually be cut off of you. Actually, people have seen me wear it and commented on it, and then I'll see them weeks later and they have the same bag on. And it's just perfect. And I'm one of those people, I've gone through so many bags. Like I said, with diaper bags. I used to carry the diaper bags, and I would have whole canisters of formula in there with the bottles and water and diapers, wipes, clothes. So, I've had a lot of experience carrying these bags and knowing exactly what I want. I think all those things are useful, and I've used the tweezers many times. I've had people come up to me in church, in fact. I know you've got to have tweezers in this bag, in that bag. And I'm like, I'm a hero, here you go. There's the tweezers. So, and I've carried fanny packs, and that doesn't bother me. Because my fanny pack would be the same things. I'll just basically empty out that bag and put it in that. And I know you're smiling thinking I'm carrying a fanny pack, but I don't care. My fanny pack has a 9mm in it. Does yours?
I don't have a fanny pack.
I can loan you one. I've got like 3.
I'm good. That's your everyday carry bag.
That's my everyday carry bag.
And you said you have an additional bag, is that correct?
Yeah, it's basically just a box in the back of my car where I have a gallon of water, a full first aid kit. What's in there, like alcohol prep wipes and stuff that I've put in there, like more Neosporin, liquid Band-Aids, stuff like that. Just as much stuff as I could put in there. Because really, most first aid kits come with like an ice pack, 46 Band-Aids, some alcohol wipes, and these massive gauze pads that you're never ever going to use. And there's no way for you to put it onto your body because they don't supply you with any tape. I got some medical tape in there. It's stuff that I've put in there. Sunscreen, bug spray, usually towel. I have a poncho in there. That's probably weird, but I bought it years ago and never used it, so I just kind of shoved it in there.
I've got a rain poncho in mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you never know when you might need it.
You never know when you might need a poncho, an extra large poncho. And I keep some candy in there, just because I'm one of those people that gets hangry quickly, and candy normally solves that problem.
I just thought you drive a van, you need some candy to lure the kids in.
Hey kids, come on into my van, I've got a lollipop. So I think that's pretty much it. We always have a soccer ball back there. Things that we use on a regular basis. I'm more worried about little Billy, and we're out now, and he needs sunscreen, and he's got to have sunscreen or else he's going to fry to a crisp. And I've really whittled my everyday carry bag down to the things that I use daily. Is this something I'm using at least once a week? If I'm not, it's got to come out.
Sunscreen would be a good one to add to my bag. I know when I was researching this that so many people seem to take it to the extreme where it's a survival bag. They have a tent and a sleeping bag pad, and they have a cook stove and utensils and dehydrated meals, all these things that, I'd say anybody that's thinking about doing this, everybody should have some kind of bag in their car or in their house.
Right.
I figure mine's close enough to where if something happens in my house, my car's right there. You need something to be prepared. I think everybody should always be prepared. But figure out what you're preparing for. Because if you just go to the internet and search this stuff, people are going to tell you all kinds of stuff you really just don't even need.
Well, people are preparing for such different things. Like, there are people actually preparing for, like, apocalypse.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that they are, because I don't take their things. I know that sounds awful, but that's probably what's going to happen.
One of the precautions, somebody said that, you don't want a military-looking bag, because that's going to make you look more prepared. My thought is, if people have guns and they're shooting people anyway, I'm probably just going to end up dead no matter what.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what my bag looks like. Wait, there's a guy with a military bag and a fanny pack. Military bag, man, let's get him.
That guy with the fanny pack, he's just got a digital camera in there. And that never really dawned on me. But I've watched a couple of those like survival type shows, how to survive, in the city if you need to survive for 3 days. And it's so ridiculous. You're not going to make it.
What's the scenario exactly?
I can't remember what it is. It was something like...
like apocalypse scenario?
Well, like the financial market collapses or something and mob rule, mentality. You're never going to make it on the street. Never. Your best bet's to get out of that city as quickly as possible. And if you can't, you better find a place to stay and stay in there.
That's what's important to know what you're preparing for. I've heard things about guys that have... One guy's like, yeah, I've got cylinders all around my house that have different bug-out bags. In case it depends on which way I run. Wow.
Yeah.
And he has a bunker somewhere. He's like, yeah, and then I've got a few hideouts in the woods farther out from my house. And that way I can hide out there, and once the people leave or do whatever, then I'll go to my bunker that's over here. It's like, that guy's prepared. That's wonderful, but to me that seems a bit extreme that you have cylinders around your house, hideouts in the woods, and then you have a bunker somewhere else.
Yeah, that's a bit extreme. I always think, we're so far, at least where we live, we're in the country that if anything ever happened, it'd take them weeks to get out to us. By then, all the neighbors would have mobilized, and we'd have some type of, compound already built.
One thing my bag does not have, I don't have any weapons or anything for self-defense.
And why?
I thought about that. I'm not into carrying a gun. People that do, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Not my deal.
Right.
I thought about some mace or something, but my thought is if it's to that point, there are bigger issues than me worrying about spraying somebody with mace.
Yeah.
And the fact that if I have this bag in my bag and somebody comes to attack me, 1 second I need to get my mace, you just let me...
Yeah, right.
Because some people are like, well, you need to know where everything is in your bag so you can reach it instantly. my thought is, if somebody comes to attack me, I don't have time to reach my bag for mace or anything else. I mean, unless it's in my hand when they come, it's done.
If you had the gun in the bag, it would bother me just because the gun is in the car all day. That's problematic to me.
That's irresponsible.
That's irresponsible, yeah.
I had it on my dashboard. The car was locked. I don't know why the person broke in.
You're asking for trouble, so I can understand from that point of view. But you don't like guns at all? Because, I carry guns.
I realize that. I don't have any desire to carry a gun. I mean, I'm not this extremist that everybody should carry, everybody shouldn't carry.
Right.
It's just not my deal. People that like to, good for them. I don't.
I'm the same way. I like to carry one. If you don't want to carry it, great.
I'm not figuring somebody comes up with a gun, whether I have a gun or not. Yeah. It's going to end badly either way.
Yeah, oh yeah. See, and a lot of people argue that does the bag instantly say I'm carrying a gun?
I think it depends on the bag you have.
Again, mine does not look very military. It's very stylish. But when I see dudes wearing fanny packs, the first thing I think is they've got a gun in that fanny pack.
I would wonder if that's just because you carry, because like your bag, I would not assume you have a gun in that bag if I saw you. I know I worked with a guy that, I don't think he was carrying when I worked with him, but he used to. And he had the gun somehow strapped to his inner thigh. And I know one of the guys was telling me this. I always wanted him to just pull it out because I wanted to see how he would go about getting it out of his pants.
Hold on. Undoing his belt.
Yeah. I know guys that came around their ankle. I mean, if somebody comes with a gun, you're not going to have time to bend down and get it. It'd have to be a heck of a situation where your leg is that close to you where you can get it. Right. And I'd have somebody just start shooting you.
Yeah. Well, and that's the problem with carrying it in a bag is that you've got to get to the bag, and I can get it really quickly. Like I pull it around me, and it's right here, and I that's probably why I carry one in my pocket.
And if I don't have a gun, he might shoot the other person beside me that does have a gun. It's kind of like the situation with the bear. Somebody's like, if a bear's chasing you, just have to run faster than the other guy. Don't let the other guy carry the gun. Let him get shot. It's okay, Mr. Criminal. Whatever you want. You want this bag? It's got a lot of supplies in it. And that guy has a gun. Get him. But I did think about everything in this bag as critically as I could. And again, my situation is if I get snowed in at work, if I'm in a car wreck, if I get stranded. Because one time I got stranded out of town, I sat in a car for 6 hours. Didn't have any supplies. Wow. It was kind of boring. Again, that's why I'm prepared. I'm not prepared for any cosmic event. I'm not prepared for Cyberdyne systems to become a sentient AI and then Terminators to attack. I get broken down if I get snowed in at work. Luckily, it's never happened, but there's been a couple times where I thought, yeah, I'm going to be here all night.
I had a friend who, it wasn't a situation like this. It was September 11th, and he was in New Orleans at the time. He was there for business. He lived at the time in New Jersey. He had no way of getting home, just kind of stuck. So finally, he rented a U-Haul and drove the U-Haul all the way home because he couldn't get a flight, couldn't get rent-a-cars. He was just really creative about it. That always makes me think of what would I do in those types of situations?
That is clever.
That was clever. Let me rent a U-Haul.
So with all these items, between our collective bags, is there one you would say is the most important?
There's such different bags. The thing that I thought was most important when you pulled it out was the duct tape, and I didn't think you had enough of it.
Why the duct tape?
Because it does so many things. It could repair things. It could actually work as first aid for you. I mean, if you need to sling up your arm, anything like that. It could repair your shelter. It could repair so many things. The duct tape is crucial. The tape that I use is the Gorilla tape. That's come in handy so many times. Like my kid's soccer cleat came apart. Went to my bag, pulled out the tape, wrapped it around the front of the shoe. We have different ideas because the survival thing, chances of making it with 3 kids are pretty slim as it is.
You cut the weight.
Someone's got to go. You fight to the death. But yeah, I think you really thought ahead pretty well.
I would say for my bag, if I'd pick one item, I'd pick the water.
The water, oh yeah.
Because again, my plan is just to make it for a couple days. Well, hopefully just a day, but...
Yeah, my water, I keep literally a gallon of water in the car, but it's not so much for the survival, it's just for sometimes I just need some water.
I think I would say if I was recommending somebody that wanted to put together a bag, I would say water, food, and a change of clothes would be the minimum. Everything else can be incredibly useful.
But your car actually supplies quite a bit of these things already. Most cars have cigarette lighters. Probably get rid of most of your fire starting equipment. And your car itself actually has so many flammable things in it that you could set on fire.
Well, you bring up a good point because some of the stuff I've thought about that do I really need a tarp? Some of the stuff seems extemporaneous. Look at a compass. I don't plan to leave my car. If I'm building this bag, I might as well build into that what if, where if I do have to leave my car for whatever reason.
Well, yeah, you hear about those things, and you hear about, this was a couple of years ago, I think, where the family got stranded in the snow, and they waited there for a couple of days, and they weren't found, so the husband decided to take off and see if he could find help. In that situation, he may have survived a little better, he ended up dying. They found the wife and the child in the car, but
For my bag, you said the duct tape was crucial.
Yeah.
Does that hold true for your bag? Is that your crucial item, or do you have something different for your bag that you'd pick?
I mean, if I have to go with the item that I use the most, it would be the Band-Aids and the tape and my flashlight. I like the fact that I haven't had to use the gun. That's nice. But I use everything in the bag fairly regularly. I mean, like I said, if I don't use it for a week, there's really just no point in me having it. Anybody needs anything fixed, something breaks off a stick, you just pull that tape out and whoop, done.
I've known you carry an everyday carry bag, and I've always thought about it. This may spur me on to create my own.
Do you think you could carry a purse every day? Because let's just call it what it is. And when I send the kids to the car, I tell them, go get this out of my purse. It doesn't bother me. I've carried them for so long, it doesn't bother me. Do you think that you're man enough to carry the bag without feeling any pressure?
Could I carry it? Sure. I would not call it a purse.
A merce.
I would call it a bag. I mean, because I carry just a drawstring bag to work that has, my cell phone charger and just very minor things. I mean, it wouldn't save me from anything, but...
I don't really intend to keep it... I just like having these things on hand. And even for my own self, having that little pair of pliers, that's useful.
Well, I carry a Swiss Army knife. So, my pliers, my tweezers, and I use that stuff often. That goes everywhere with me. That's in my pocket. That's not in a separate bag.
And I've tried to go back to just my pockets. Carrying a gun, a wallet, an old wallet with Band-Aids in it, trying to carry all this stuff in your pocket is just... And my key goes in there, my phone goes in the bag too. The phone is clipped onto the front of the bag, so I don't have anything in my pockets other than the secondary one.
They just need cargo pants.
See, I don't like that. I don't like things in my pockets, so don't. I like the bag, and it doesn't bother me. People stare at me all the time, and I've had people say things, and I don't care.
Things like, hey, nice bag.
Yeah. And then I'll say something like, oh, great, yeah, where do you carry your 45? Oh, you don't? Oh, all right, because mine's here. So do you think you would feel comfortable carrying a bag?
I think so. I mean, I have a little drawstring bag I carry around now.
But again, that's a drawstring bag. These could be construed as a purse. I mean, this one's more of a sling / like a messenger type of bag, but...
Thinking about it, it would be a little weird for me to carry a bag like that around.
Do you ever carry like your iPod or your iPad or, like stuff like that? I mean...
Yeah, I'll carry that in my drawstring bag. I know at one time I was keeping my wallet and keys in this bag. It's difficult to keep so many things in your pocket.
I agree.
Sometimes when I go out for lunch, I'd get my car and realize I left my keys or my wallet in there. So I just quit doing it because it's not a bag I carry with me. I carry it to work. Right. I leave it at work. So that'd be one step, is just to remember to carry it. But can I see myself carrying the messenger type bag? Like if I went after work to Lowe's, as I often do, that'd be a little weird for me. I mean, it's uncommon. I never do that. Right. Especially with a young kid. I can't tell you how many times where he bumps his arm, it's not even hurt, and he has to have a Band-Aid. Be great for that. And I'm sure as he gets a little bit older, the duct tape, you've given me, 5 or 6 situations where it would be great to have.
I use that for other kids, too. It'll be like, oh, I got it. I got you. Hold on.
And while I have it in my bag in my truck, It's a little bit different saying, hold on 2 minutes while I go to my truck, as I have it right now.
Yeah, I've got it right here. You wear a bag and you're going to get people looking at you, but I don't think that bothers you so much.
People look at me all the time.
I was going to say, I've seen your blazer. It's people are already looking.
Those make me think I would like to have an everyday carry bag just for the convenience of having those things on me. I just don't know if it would clash with my work attire. I carry a Swiss Army knife, and people ask me all the time, and they know I carry it. Right. I know, my first day at work, we went to some field visit, and the guy's like, oh, we need a screwdriver. And of course, where we were, the guy's like, well, I don't know if I have one. I was like, hold on, I've got it right here. So, of course, I got points right there my first day at work. Right. And people were like, hey, can I borrow that? Yeah. And like I said, I have all this stuff in my bag. If I said, oh, yeah, I've got that, let me go to my car, they'd say, oh, don't worry.
Yeah, right.
So it would be nice to have stuff. That, I think, has been an awesome discussion. Is there anything else to wrap that up? Any parting thoughts you have?
No. I think less people should carry guns. So if you're thinking about carrying a gun, don't. You don't want to carry them. Don't. Words of the day, don't carry a gun.
Don't make yourself a target.
Thanks for listening to Fridays on the Fly. I'm Eric.
And I'm Ward. Go to fridaysonthefly.blogspot.com. You can find our show notes. You can subscribe to our blog. You can also find our social media profiles. We are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google+, and probably others I'm forgetting. We'd love to hear from you. Comment. Do whatever you want.